Hey, thanks for hanging out. This is a Triton TPT125 Benchtop Thicknesser or Lunchbox Planer. Today I'm going to show you how to change out the blades, then we're going to do a few test cuts and just see how flat it's planing across the surface, and I'll show you how to adjust that if necessary. Let's get after it. I bought this planer second hand. It was in pretty reasonable nick. The blades were very dull. So all I've done at the moment is I've just given it a clean up. So we're going to dive in and get those blades changed out now. I've already removed the blades from the old blades from here, so we're really just installing new blades, but I'll just go through that process. So first thing we do is going to remove the dust guard. Next thing we need to do is remove the cutter head guard. This now exposes the cutter head block. There's a catch here that will lock the block in place to allow you to be able to change the blades out easily. The cutter head guard pushes that back to allow the cutter head to rotate freely when it's not being used. So we'll just move that until it latches, and that will allow us to get to the cutter head. The blade clamp has got a slight curve in it, and so you always undo the screws from the outside in and always do them up from the inside out. That way you get nice even pressure on all of the blade across the whole blade clamp, and you don't have any loose spots. If you tighten the screws from the outside in, then there's a chance that you're not going to get a full clamp pressure in the middle here, which is why you always do it from the inside out. The blades for this machine are quite small. They're a double-sided blade, so you do get some extra life out of them. So we'll use our magnets to be able to install that. And they just index on the little posts that are there. On the underside of the blade clamp there's another little post that indexes into the middle hole of the blade. That looks better. So I'm just putting the screws back in, but I'm not even doing them finger tight. That's just to help locate the blade clamp. And before I tighten that down, I'm just going to move the cutter head just to make sure that looks okay. Everything looks like it's seated in there well. So just remember, when reinstalling this, start from the inside and work your way out. On to the next one. Now we'll pop the cutter head guard back on. So the cutter head pushes on this little red tab here to be able to allow the cutter head to turn. I'm just going to push it, which will make installing this a little bit easier. There's no need to force it, it'll go in there nice and easily. So now that that's done, let's do a few test cuts. $14mm and about 13.6. So it's cutting a little lower on this side, so we need to be able to lift this side up. So we'll do that now. I'll show you how to do that. So from our test cuts before, we knew that we were around about 0.4 of a millimetre difference between both sides. So this side was cutting at 14 millimetres, or around about just over ½ an inch, and the other side was cutting at 13.6 millimetres. Each full revolution of the cog here is a 1/16 of an inch, or around about 1.6 millimetres, and there's 16 graduations. So you can get you can adjust this by around about 0.1 of a millimetre, or around about 4/1000ths of an inch at a time, which is quite good. So I know that I need to move this a quarter of a turn, and so the process is just to undo these two screws that are holding this rod on. You pull this away and then you're able to turn that. I've made a little witness mark here at 90 degrees on the washer, and so I should be able to just turn that 4 cogs around to be able to align that to where I need to. Screwing this clockwise is going to draw this side of the cutter head in. I could do it on either side, but I'm going to do it on this end. was interesting. I had thought that I'd turned that cog the correct way, but I didn't. I've actually made that problem worse. So I now need to just get back underneath and undo that and do it the correct way. Okay, let's try that. .65 16.65. So I'm quite happy that I've got that now nice and flat, cutting flat. I can cut anywhere along that blade and be confident to know that it's going to cut it at the same depth. Very happy with that. That's a great outcome. That's a quick little job done to change those blades. They're nice and sharp now. I've got another set of blades as well, so I've got 4 edges to be able to cut with, so I should be able to get a lot of material thicknessed up, planed up through this little machine. This is a great little machine. There's plenty of reviews online that let you know how good it is compared to other machines, particularly for the price that you pay for it. There was quite a large test of 10 thickness planers, including the DeWalt 735, which is a 3-knife planer, uses much bigger knives than this, and of course that took out the top prize, much more power, much more cutting action on it. This one rated quite highly in amongst all of the others that are like this, the Metabo, the Makita, Ryobi, the DeWalt 734 I think it is, are all very similar sort of thicknesses or planers to this one. But this one's doing a great job. I've got it dialed in now. It's cutting nice and flat across the entire deck, and I'm looking forward to getting some use out of it. So that wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, please leave any comments or questions that you may have, and we'll see you on the next one.